Hi guys, went down to the Punchbowl Pub in Mayfair to see my old mate Steve Wraith, and he had a book launch there, the Krays book of Slang, a book he'd written with his daughter Rebecca. So lots of interesting people there, Linda Calvey, the Black Widow, Micky Fawcett, who worked with the Krays, and of course the lovely Flanagan. So did some interviews, take a look. So why are we here today?
I'm launching a new book. It's called The Krays Book of Slang by Steve Wraith and Rebecca Wraith. Rebecca is obviously my daughter. She's 13 now. When I set her this project, it was to basically write a book about Cockney rhyme and slang. And so she basically researched the book over the last 4 months of the summer. She basically put the book together. What I've done is I've used a lot of unseen photographs of the Kray twins within the book. We've done a limited edition book launch today at the Punchbowl, which is a significant pub in my life because Freddie Foreman used to own the pub. I spent many nights down in this bar with Freddie and a lot of the faces from Gangland, and I've invited a lot of my friends. My friends are far and wide, but I've got a lot of friends in London. And it's just nice to have a lot of people who are familiar with the Kray story, but a lot of people who have now become friends through the different areas of my life, whether it be boxing or whether it be football or whether it be crime interest or whether it be acting. It's just nice. It's a get together. It's a social get together. It's great to launch the book, and my young daughter is now sitting at home waiting for her 50% cut, which I offered her. So it's doubling up as a Christmas night out for me as well, though, and a chance to catch up with a lot of people who I haven't seen for a long time.
So Linda, lovely to see you. So why are you here today?
I'm here today to support Steve on his new book about the Krays.
And did you ever meet the Krays?
I used to speak to Reg twice a week. And he used to send me bouquets when we were both away.
How long did you have a relationship with him or friendship with him?
A friendship, probably 7-8 years.
Yeah. And what type of a man was he?
I was very polite. I mean, obviously it was just speaking on the phone, but he phoned me the day that Ron died, so we were very close. He phoned me that morning.
Really? Yeah. And how was he? How distressed was he?
Distraught.
Yes.
Because he'd just gone in and asked if he could go and visit his brother, and they'd just given him back the piece of paper saying, "Governor's refused, your brother's not ill enough," and then the radio came on and said that his brother had died.
Oh, really, really? Did you ever meet Ron?
No, I spoke to him once on the phone.
Absolutely. So you've recently had a book out, haven't you? Tell us something about that.
Yes, my book, Meet Black Widow.
Yes.
If I say it myself, very good book.
Yes.
I hope you buy it.
Yes.
It's coming out in paperback in January, and it is the final true story that I've been able to write, as I wasn't able to do it prior to while I was in prison.
And how long since you've been out of prison now?
11 years.
Yeah. And how was it in prison? How difficult was it for you?
It was hard. I mean, I probably had it a lot easier than a lot of people, because I think sort of my name preceded me. Not that I'm a fighter or whatever, because I'm not, but I just think I got respect from the girls.
Yes.
You know, so I got quite an easy ride with them.
So
it's quite a hard place.
So the book will tell all about your life in prison, and prior to that, Meet the Black Widow.
And it's by Mirror Books.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for speaking to me.
You're welcome.
So, I mean, your association with the Krays has gone back a long way, and your first book was about the Krays, wasn't it?
Yeah, The Krays, The Geordie Connection was a successful book which I produced in 2003. Subsequently, the DVD and video, as it was then, came out in 2004. So it's done very well. We've had a lot of good times, celebrating my relationship with the Krays. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've made a lot of good connections, a lot of friends, and moved on into producing documentaries and hopefully in the next 12 months producing my first film, which will be very interesting. A film about one person in particular, but somebody who everybody knows, and the first draft of the script's been written. I'm hoping that that's going to be a big success. So it's been an interesting road, a fantastic journey, and the Krays are always watching over us, I'm sure, and I think they would be very proud that I'd done this with my daughter.
You're Linda Calvey's son. You come with Linda today to the launch. Looking forward to the whole afternoon?
Yeah, so we'll be looking forward to it. Hopefully it's going to be a good day. So
yeah. So you know Steve Wraith well?
Yes, he's a good friend of mine. Yeah, he's a good fella, Steve. Got a lot of time for him. So as I said to him when we just arrived, he always makes the time for me. Mum's things and stuff, so he always comes down, and obviously he travels from Newcastle, so it's not just around the corner, so it's always nice to show returning grace and come to his events, and Do you know what I mean? Sort of try and help him out with things and stuff. And as I say, it's good friend Steve anyway, so yeah, exactly, vice versa.
So you're supporting him here today, and of course.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, Steve's got his things in the food prize, as you probably know.
Yes.
He's quite prolific in certain things in that, so I hope he does well with this anyway. It's another string of his bow, so another one of many probably, but yeah. So good luck to you, Steve, hope it goes well.
Fantastic.
I'm here today for the launch of Steve Wraith's book of photos, very old photos and some photos we've never seen before, which is fabulous. Mostly of the Krays, always of the twins, as you know. But I've just had a quick look through the book. Fabulous photos.
Yes.
Old pictures of Mrs. Kray, and I was with her all the time. I've never seen Reggie or Morocco and Spain with Francis. Some old pictures of Teddy Smith and the old villains all around the clubs.
So what kind of memories does it bring back to you seeing those
Memories
photos?
of clubs when they were clubs,
Yes.
pubs when they were pubs. I used to go, the night they took Mrs. Kray out, we'd all dress up, when women dressed up with their hair on top, you know, stockings, high heel shoes, and they took us to a club in Knightsbridge called Esmeralda's Barn. They didn't own it at the time, but it didn't take long for Ronnie to own it. That was fabulous. You had all the very rich clientele. It was gambling, beautiful bar, everybody dressed up, but then he caused trouble, as he always did.
So do you miss those days?
I miss those days because we were saying, come in here. Where is there a fabulous pub with you walk in, the atmosphere's fabulous, singers singing,
Yes.
like Frank Sinatra, you know, and you enjoyed yourself. Everybody enjoyed themselves in there.
So obviously everybody's seen so much about the Krays in the movies and the documentaries and this that, and the other.
Yeah.
What were the sort of different sides to them that really haven't been shown? You
Well,
know,
to me there was, because
Yeah.
I'm a woman of charity. I've been doing charity for over 40, 50 years. And whenever I put an event on in the East End, they'd send me a great big teddy bear, great big boxes of whiskey for prizes in my raffle. They were very generous, and they were very generous to the Repton Boys Boxing Club, which was local, at the bottom of their Valence Road.
Yes.
But then they had their murderous side, and we mustn't condone anything that either one of them did. I didn't, but I can only speak as I find. They were good to me, good to their mother, but very cruel to anybody that turned them, especially Ronnie.
so were there kind of like different sides? I mean, did they have a sense of humour, for instance?
Well, Ronnie didn't have no humour,
No.
only humour to himself. What he thought made you laugh. In other words, you had to laugh, otherwise he'd say, well, what's wrong? What did I say wrong? And then he'd start.
Right.
But he had a very dry humour, very black humour, I could say. But Reggie was a different kettle of fish.
Yes.
He'd walk into a bar and be nice, be happy, shake people's hand until Ronnie started. He was always watching Ronnie all his life.
Did you have a particular favourite out of the two?
Ronnie for generosity, Reggie for friendliness.
Right,
I
right.
was never frightened that Reggie would start on somebody first. You were always aware and on edge that Ronnie Kray would just change like that. He'd be laughing in a pub one minute and he'd turn around and say, he'd see somebody he didn't like laughing and he'd say, are you laughing at me? And then you know what happens.
So obviously a lot of people associate you with the Krays and stuff, and you've had your own battle recently. How are you getting on with that?
The cancer. Do you like the wig?
I couldn't tell, actually. I had no idea.
Everybody says it's, you know, they thought I'd cut my long blonde hair, but I'm waiting for that next. I've had 8 chemos. I've kept positive and strong, like I was always told to do, and I'm hoping to overcome it in the new year.
Fantastic. Well, I think everybody wishes you the best of luck with that.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having a
Thank
chat
you.
with us. So, of course, you've gone on to act and be a promoter, and I mean, you've got even people like Floyd Mayweather coming over next year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's my life's been, you know, it's still always been a roller coaster. It's something which, you know, I just enjoy life. You know, I put my heart and soul into everything. If I commit myself to something, then, you know, I will do it. But yeah, the promoter side of it is where I make me bread and butter. The acting, you know, I was an actor from 7 until I was 18. Then I didn't do anything until I was 30. Went back into being an extra. Was then lucky enough to have friends who were making films. So, you know, I was involved in a film called Mob Handed, which obviously, you know, Liam Galvin directed, which was fantastic, and that was the start for me really. Once I did that, I then went back into the GCSE and then did a performing arts degree. So I graduated at 40 after doing 6 years as an extra, and then became a professional actor. So for the last 7 years, I've managed to accumulate 20 credits in mainly feature films, playing bad guys, which is great because I've met most of them. And you know, for me, it's onwards and upwards. I'm still hoping, you know, to make a big success in the acting game. I've had you know, some success on the documentary side of things, working with Salon Pictures and doing Freddie Foreman's final documentary, which got great acclaim and great reviews. So yeah, I am enjoying things, but you know, the promotion side of things is still my bread and butter. The acting side of things is where I want to be. I want to do that full time, and hopefully that will happen over the next few years. But it takes hard work and a bit of luck.
I'm here today for the launch of the book that Steve's put together, I think with his daughter. So it's a fantastic book, and it's got some old photographs of the Krays back in the day that I don't think have ever been seen before, and of course it's Cockney rhyming slang. So you know, who won't want to read the book to find out the definitive kind of history of how it came about and certain phrases you'll use. So it's always a privilege and an honour to be at something that Steve Wraith has organised. So I'm more than happy to turn up today.
So have you known Steve for long?
I've known Steve for about 25 years.
Really?
Way
Yes.
back in the day that when me and Freddie Foreman and Tony Lambriano went up to do a charity event for Steve up in Newcastle.
Oh yes, I remember that.
And you know, we was treated so wonderfully well, hospitality fantastic. So we had a weekend in there. I had the most amazing train ride up and back from Newcastle with Tony and Freddie. You know, that told the story, so it was fantastic. And then we reconnected about a few years ago on Twitter and stuff, and it's like, you know, we sort of, I'd seen him last weekend, so it was great to reconnect with him.
And of course he's gone into the acting now, and have you appeared with him?
No, we haven't, but we've done something together recently.
Yes.
Which, if it gets the green light, then we will be appearing together, which will be fantastic. You know, very much looking forward.
Is that to do with Morelands? Is that?
That's
something?
right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Morelands firm.
Yeah.
Of which I sort of represent the London side of it, being a
geezer,
kind of a copper.
Yeah.
Who's kind of maybe not as clean as he'd like to think he is. You know.
I'm Jared. I'm a close family friend of Paul Ferris. I'm here today to support Steve with his latest book.
And tell us about your friendship with the Sayers.
Yeah, I actually met Tony Sayers and his brother Eddie back at the Blind Beggar in the summer.
Yeah.
Linda Calvey's book signing.
Oh yes, and she's here today.
Yes, and she's here today.
Yeah.
And me and Tony have become friends since then. And him and his family are also good friends with Paul as well. And I actually met Ramal back in the Blind Beggar, and we've become friends since that time as well.
Fantastic. And I've seen Ramal. I've seen you with loads of photographs with, you know, helicopters and cars and all of that. You look in the business in those.
Yeah, it's just another day, it's part of my work schedule, isn't it? Like, obviously, I'm for protection and stuff, so you get all sorts of clients that need transfers, protection, all sorts, so I'm there doing whatever I can for them.
So if anybody needs protection, you're the man.
Hopefully I am, yeah.
or he's the man that can.
Great.
I was out with Reggie one night, and we went to a club in Islington. I can't remember the name for a minute, but it's in the book. And we were in there having a couple of drinks, looking around. We went down to the toilet, and all of a sudden there was a loud bang! And, whoa, what was that? And Reggie had shot a fella for no apparent reason. And we came out and he said, I think I shot him in the head. And I said, no, Reg, you shot him in the leg. I was having a piss at the time and someone on my boot.
So he wasn't aware exactly where he shot the particular guy?
He tried to shoot him in the leg, but he said, oh no, the gun jumped. Yeah. But it had shot him in the leg.
Yeah. Were you ever sort of worried about being around them, or
I was arrested by them.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, I was charged with the long-firm frauds. I can't remember the exact wording of the charges, and the magistrate said there weren't enough evidence. But I'd left immediately after the George Cornell.
Yes.
I kept out the way. Fantastic. As much as I could.
So it must be interesting looking back on your life with them. Was it a fascinating time for you?
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah. And you miss those days?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I do miss him, yeah. I'm an old man now.
So today I'm here supporting a very good friend, but actually now, like I say, a co-star, Steve Wraith, on his new book, which looks absolutely awesome. We're at the Punchbowl, Central London, West End, and what a night. What a fabulous night.
So are you a sort of a Kray fan?
I wouldn't say I'm a Kray fan. I think like most of the people that have heard the Krays are always intrigued because I'm not part of that generation, so you are intrigued by the whole thing of the Krays, and it's always a big question mark because a lot of things that have never been brought out or stuff like that. So I wouldn't say a fan, but I'm definitely intrigued by them. Yeah.
So you of course are a boxing promoter.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, because and how difficult has that been for you, and how is it?
I think that when I'm a female boxer. I think when I first started, I kind of shied away from that because I came from the era that was about men were the boxing promoters at the time. So I kind of hid the fact that I was a female, just thinking that I wouldn't actually be accepted. It was just my own insecurities. But as time went on, it actually works in my favour. So the media were quite intrigued with the fact that I'm a female boxing promoter and I've done quite a few fights. So yeah, I'm doing that now, still doing it. It's my passion. I'm trying to convert the world of boxing.
Well, were you a fighter yourself?
Never bought.
No.
You can't ask me if I was a fighter myself with this face.
No, that is true. That is true. Was there much opposition to it?
There's always opposition. There's always opposition. I think with boxing, you have to go in thinking that you own it and you're going to do exactly what you're going to say. Because if you fail, they're quick to judge you. So, you know, in boxing, there is opposition, but I think I handle it a little bit better.
Fantastic.
The assets might help.
So you know Steve Wraith, who's having this launch here now.
Steve Wraith.
And am I right in thinking that you're acting with him, or you have acted with him?
I have never acted with Steve. I was in a movie called The Governors, and we weren't actually together. We were on the same movie, but we weren't actually together. So I played a drug addict kind of mum, and his scene was a lot more aggressive.
Yes.
So we never actually crossed paths. Now we are in a thing called New Blood, which is based around the Krays again. I play an assassin this time.
Oh, fantastic.
I know, right? I feel like Angelina Jolie on Fox from Wanted.
So are you going to sort of continue on this line of acting, do you think?
I think that my boxing will always be there. I think that when a role comes my way and someone asks me and it's a challenge, then I always like a challenge. So I will accept. So offers, if you want to just throw them at me, you're more than welcome.
So final thing, I mean, it really must have been tough being a boxing promoter. You're surrounded by all these tough guys all the time, and this, that and the other. I mean, were there any moments when you kind of doubted yourself?
You doubt yourself. As a human being, you doubt yourself every single day. And if any person says, no, I don't, you do. You always question, you always doubt. I think the doubt is the thing that keeps you on your toes, and doubt makes us become better than we possibly could be. We doubt ourselves and want to correct it. So I let doubt set in so I can be the best that I possibly can. And I'm never going to be the best, but I can always try my best.
So final thing, so the book, if someone was to buy it, what would they be expecting from it, and what would they enjoy most out of it?
If you want to buy a copy of Book of Slang, it's not essentially about the slang. You know, the slang was what my daughter has researched and written. I'm sure there's a lot of, you know, cockneys would say, well, that's not the best slang. You could have chose this word, you could have chose that word. But she's done it at 12 years of age, and that is commendable. For me, the photographs that are in the book, there's 40 unseen photographs, stuff that's never been seen before, of Ronnie, Reggie, Violet, Charlie Senior, Francis. You know, there's 40 unseen photographs, some unseen poetry as well, published by me, by Ronnie and Reggie as well. So it's a unique book, and it's available on Amazon to buy for £20. But as I say, for me, it's not about the profit. It's nice to get the book out there, but it's a limited edition book, and it's just a nice one to add to your collection if you're somebody who's got an interest in creative things.
Fantastic, thanks very much.